Hello fellow Malaysians, this is Matthias Chang once again from Future Fast Forward. The last few days have been really exciting and I have very good news to share with all of you. But first, before I go into the substance of my address this morning, may I just share with you an experience about propaganda warfare and diversionary tactics by any government in power. We all knew since May of this year, when MDB and the MOF, Minister of Finance, entered into a consent settlement with IPIC of Abu Dhabi, then they have to pay the first installment on the end of July, 1st of August, and a second installment by end of the year. The government knew all this while they had no money, absolute zero money to pay when the first installment becomes due and payable. All right? Habis, kaput, nothing. They tried to prostitute themselves to China in the hope that China would enter some sort of agreement to bring money into Malaysia, and those money can be utilized by various means to pay off that first installment. That failed. With that disaster facing them, the regime of Najib adopted the usual tactic that prior before the shit hits the ceiling fan, the people of Malaysia must be diverted of the impending default by what MDB and MOF to pay the first installment of the settlement award with IP. So lo and behold, the supposedly champion of the Malays, champion of UMNO, comes out with bravado, right? With a so-called IC of Tun Mahathir Mohamad, saying that he's not a Malay, he has Indian blood in him. And therefore, he's not a genuine Malay. He was using the Malays for whatever purposes. And the whole country, right, seemingly was diverted. But it backfired on Zahid Hamidi because it aroused anger of the people and backfired on Zahid Hamidi. More of that later. But what I'm trying to tell all of you is the announcement by Zahid Hamidi, the Deputy Prime Minister, was merely a diversionary issue to cover up this massive international scandal, unprecedented, of the default. And this morning, all of a sudden, there is now a video circulating, has gone viral in social media, allegedly that the election will be in October of this year. Again, a timing of the announcement. Zahid Hamidi was before the default. The so-called election issue is after the default. Alright? So that the people will be focused on these two issues and forget about the one empty default. This is what we call diversionary propaganda by the government. Very often a strategy, a tactic, where the shit hits the ceiling fan. Now, let me tell you why it's good news for the Malaysian people. More than ever, this default has shown Najib to be a filthy liar, Zahid Hamidi a filthy liar, giving false news, propaganda and fake news. They lie, lie and lie again. They have no shame. Now, I'm going to say to all of you, Malaysia is bankrupt. I repeat once more. Malaysia is bankrupt in law and in fact. Repeat, Malaysia is bankrupt in law and in fact. Now, I would like to ask all of you, Malaysians, Malay, Chinese, Indians, Kadazans, Dayaks, whatever, all over Malaysia, quickly phone your lawyer now, after you watch this video, and ask them, hey, betul tak? Malaysia sudah bankrupt. What is the meaning of bankrupt? When can someone be a bankrupt? When a company can be bankrupt? Straight away phone them. And I guarantee you, 1 million ringgit, if I can be proven wrong by any one of you, in law and in fact, under the bankruptcy laws, under the company's law, you may have assets, for example, house, factory, properties, worth much more than a debt you owe a bank or a creditor. And if you are supposed to pay an installment of a debt or the principal sum of the debt by a certain date, and on that date you fail to pay the debt, you are deemed to have committed an act of bankruptcy or an act of insolvency in the case of a company. Alright? Individual, makna individual, kalau you tak berbayar utang pada satu tarikh, the law says you have committed an act of bankruptcy. Tak ada duit tau, tak bayar balik, itu utang. Okay? Even though you have assets, but you have not sold the assets, pada masa itu, have you got the cash to pay? Kalau tidak, the creditor, the bank, the money lender can file bankruptcy proceedings against you and declare you a bankrupt. Sama juga satu corporate company owes money to the bank, money lender dan lain-lain. Kalau masa itu company tak boleh bayar duit to repay back the loan, an act of insolvency has been committed. And the creditor, bank, money lender can go to court to wind up the company because the company failed to pay a debt as and when it becomes due. I repeat that. If an individual or a company fails to pay a debt as and when it becomes due, an act of bankruptcy or an act of insolvency has been committed. And you can file proceedings in court to declare the individual a bankrupt or to wind up a company because they failed to pay the debt. Inilah shame lah. Najib, UMNO, Barisan Nasional, you entered into a settlement in May with IPIC and ABA, 1MDB and NOF, Minister of Finance. Makna kerajaan Malaysia. Alright, you enter satu hukuman by consent to pay by this date. And yet, Najib is so irresponsible as a Prime Minister and Finance Minister. The entire cabinet was so irresponsible. As if nothing happens. Tak apa lah, tak apa. Don't pay. And give a press statement, we will find some money somehow in August. As if ini isu tak susah. Shame lah. Never in the history of our country have we ever defaulted. Even during the financial crisis of 1997 Asian crisis, we never default. And this scumbag finance minister and his entire cabinet willingly, unashamedly default. If one MDB cannot pay, listen carefully. One MDB is a company. Najib is the sole shareholder authority. If one MD a company cannot pay, and one MD is owned by MOF, okay, Minister of Finance, why didn't the Minister of Finance pay? Inilah satu soalan yang penting. Kenapa Kementerian Kewangan tak bagi duit untuk IPIC bila one MDB default? If one MD don't have the money, surely kerajaan ada duit, bukan? Dia sudah masuk satu hukuman, satu award, consent, must pay. MOF guaranteed the payment. So if one MD don't have the money, MOF must pay to retain the integrity, the credibility of Malaysia. By right, unless the rating agencies have been paid off, our credit rating will have to be slashed to junk status. If a company fails to pay its debt to bondholders, all rating agencies will treat a default as non-payment, subject to bankruptcy or whatever proceedings, and that company, be it a listed company in New York, Hong Kong, London, Australia, Singapore, will have the rating slashed. That bond becomes junk. You understand? The bond becomes junk. We have junk. We've issued junk to our creditors. That is the implication and consequences, right? The ramification of this shameful act of bankruptcy by the government. So all this rosy picture, we have so many percent growth, blah, 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 all this trade, all rubbish. If it's so rosy, domestic GDP went up, all this rubbish, then we ought to have money, isn't it, to pay the debt. Nanti boasted, we collect so much money, GST, banyak ada duit suruh masuk kerajaan. If that's the case, why MOF cannot pay for and on behalf of one MDB? Because they're saying, bukan. One MDB is owned 100% by MOF. So if one MDB cannot pay, they must pay. No. Shame, shame, shame on UMNO, on Najib, on the entire Supreme Council of UMNO, on the entire cabinet. Now, surely something's not right, right? Zahid attacked Tun. But God is great, as I always say, God works in mysterious ways, Allah works in mysterious ways. Then, Tun exposed Zahid. Zahid says Tun is not a Malay, betrayed a Malay. He's a traitor to the Malay cause. Now something you must ask Najib and UMNO. Why is Tun Mahathir has exposed that when Najib appointed Zahid to be the Deputy Prime Minister, he rushed to see Tun Mahathir and asked for support. Tun, support me to be Prime Minister. And within 3 months, if you support me, I will throw Najib out. I will have a coup to remove Najib as Prime Minister and I become powerful. Now, what do you think of such an idiot scumbag who, having been appointed by the Prime Minister to be his deputy, therefore, outwardly, perception-wise, Najib has faith in Zahid Hamidi, isn't it? Yet Zahid Hamidi performed a treacherous act by going to Tun Mahathir and says, you back me and I put a knife in the back of Najib. Sama Brutus tau. Murdered Caesar by putting a knife in the back of Caesar to destroy Caesar. Sama. Now, this has been exposed by Tun Mahathir, is it? The $10 trillion question is right. Zahid has not denied it. That he has asked Tun Mahathir support to overthrow Najib so he can be Prime Minister. In any situation, such a Deputy Prime Minister will be sacked straight away. Sacked! Like what's happening, right? In America. When the Chief of Staff of Trump proved to be one of the main leakers in the White House, he was sacked. Okay? And other men were sacked. But here a deputy prime minister has said, I will betray, put the knife into Najib. He's not sacked. Why? There's only two conclusions. One is Najib is so desperate, he can't afford this unity in his UMNO ranks, rather than like, temporary hold on to the skirts of Zahid because there's other people to rely on, Salih Krab of Sabah or Hishamuddin. Alternatively, when Zahid saw Tun Mahathir and induce or try to induce Mahathir to support him, it was a trap with the knowledge of Najib to entice Tun Mahathir to support Zahid. And if Tun Mahathir were to say, yes, I support you, attack Najib, then my God, if it happened, right? If it happened, Zahid and Najib will go to the town and says, Tun Mahathir wants to launch a coup, illegal coup against Najib. And I'm the witness. And then Najib says, right? Yes, I asked Zahid to go and see Tun Mahathir. You see, it was a trap. But Tun did not fall for the trap. This is one interpretation I'm suggesting why Najib has failed to sack Zahid Hamidi after being exposed as having attempted to conspire with Tun to make him a prime minister. This can be a very real issue and what actually happened, because a similar situation has happened in the past. If, for example, all of you, any one of you in Malaysia, if I accuse you of being a bastard criminal, a molester, a pedophilia, that means you screw young children, you molest young children, and it's not true, and I accuse in public, you are a molester of children. You rape, you screw children. You are demented, you are evil. What will you do if you're not? You will sue me, isn't it? You'd be even physically beat me up if I was in front of you when I make the accusation. Alright? If I call you a thief in front of all your friends, right? Or a rapist, I'm sure, in the restaurant where you beat me up and say, how dare you accuse me to be a rapist or whatever. And you say, I will sue your pants off, right? If what I say is not true. So, therefore I remind all of you in Malaysia, we all knew MO1 is Najib, as disclosed in the DOJ complaint. He kept quiet. Didn't say anything. AG, Tan Party says his name was not mentioned. Najib. Therefore, he's not involved in the suit. No name mentioned. He cannot be guilty. And then Rahman, Dahlan comes out and say, MO1 is Najib, the Prime Minister. If that was false, surely Najib would have sacked Rahman Dahlan for a false allegation. MO1 is Najib. As he has sacked Tan Sri Muhyiddin for asking him questions, explain how one empty money was stolen by Jolo, the China Kuei. Alright? The money launderer. If he has sacked Muhyiddin for merely asking questions, for clarification, for transparency, how is it Najib did not sack Rahman Dahlan for fingering him? MO1 is Najib, the Prime Minister. Now, you might say, Najib maybe has no balls or guts to sack Rahman Dahlan. He needs as much people licking his ass and carrying his balls. But recently, when it was disclosed that Jolo and Tan Kim Loon diverted 1MD money to buy jewelry for the wife of 1MD or MO1, again, Rahman Dahlan came out and says, wife of 1MO1 is Rosma Manso. My God. He declared the whole world. Wife of 1MO1 is Rosma Manso. And challenged the DOJ. Why you go after Belinda Kerr, the model whom Jolo wanted to screw on a yacht, and DiCaprio, the actor, right, for giving paintings or what have you, and girls who screw. If they go after those two, why DOJ didn't go after Rosma Manso? You see, admitting the wife of 1MO1 is Rosma Manso. Yet, Rahman Dahlan has not been sacked. That means it must be true, isn't it? If they don't sack Rahman Dahlan, that means there is a conspiracy, right? To cover up, to stall, to mislead. Likewise, the disclosure, so-called, the fake news, the IC of Tun Mahathir is blah, 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 Kuti, is to divert, isn't it? To cover up. The real issue that should be in the center focus of everyone. Malaysia, by law, is bankrupt. Shame that Malaysia can't pay off the debt owed to IPIC pursuant to a consent order. And you recall, before the arbitration, the second Minister of Finance says, we will sure win. No problem. Tak ada case. Kita mesti menang. Dia tipu lah. IPIC, Abah tipu. Dia Arab tipu. Kita boleh menang. If you are so sure of winning, why would you settle with IPIC? Surely, if you're sure of winning, the word would be, IPIC repay to Malaysia the money which has been paid by Malaysia. Alright? Repay us back. But instead, we pay IPIC the money we say was paid to Abah in British Virgin Islands, BVI. Dua kali tau. First time, paid to Abah, BVI. Duit itu sudah lari, pusing-pusing, masuk poket Jolo, Tan Kim Loon, and Najib. They go to IPIC, Sovereign Fund of Abu Dhabi. That's why Abu Dhabi says, right, you crooks, you cheat, you're a kleptocrat, you're an international gangster, robber, money launderer. I will not let you go. You pay us or we fight to the end. That's why. Bukan 1MD sahaja bersetujui dan mengaku salah. MOF as well. Consent order is between IPIC Abah and 1MDB and MOF. You see? Therefore, coming back, ini Zahid lah, sama ular lah, two-headed snake, you know. He thinks very clever, he can trap Tun Mahathir, or to trap me, or whatever. He has short memory lah. Dulu tau, dia nak lawan dengan Tun Mahathir. Alright? As he's a virgin clean, he was corrupt. In PWTC, ada display tau. All the companies that own, how much money he has in the bank, 200 million ringgit. And yet, he dare say, he is a genuine Malay, tapi dia dari Indonesia bukan. Loyal to UMNO, fight for Malays, tapi duit masuk dia pocket. So if you fight for Malay, for the country, you don't get rich lah. You serve with loyalty, honor and integrity. And yet, you cheat. You declare so much money. As an UMNO member, youth chief, you can have so much money in your pocket. See, God is great. God now has stirred all this up. There's no turning back. No matter what they say, UMNO is finished. BN is finished. And for the Chinako in MC Gerakan, who has no principles, no balls, no guts, hanging on to the tailcoats of Najib and the skirt of Rosmah and the jeans or whatever, trousers of Zahid Hamidi, they're finished. So to all Malays, Chinese, Indians, this is your final decision. Vote wholeheartedly for Tun Mahathir and Harapan, Pakatan Harapan. Turn your back on evil. If you still have doubts, I hope this decision by the government of Malaysia, headed by this criminal Najib and finance minister, must be very clear to all of you, isn't it? Don't care about the country anymore. No shame. Rather default to save themselves and give excuse. You see, as if it's just an ordinary thing, nothing, nothing big, no big deal. I don't pay, never mind. I'll pay in August. This kind of behavior is immature, downright cynical. And he says, Malaysia, great country, blah, blah, blah. I will always fight for the rights of the people. Baru this speech, forum for investors in Malaysia. For investors, I will always fight and do right by the people of Malaysia. I will fight for the rakyat. If he fights for the people of Malaysia, for the country, would he humiliate the country, put to shame our country by in default? Default out. Inilah significance which all of you did not pay attention to, right? Most of the communists says, right, okay, we tak boleh pay. How would Najib, right, pay? Will he steal any money from other people or other organization? KWAP, EPF, the line. That's not the issue. Whether he can steal money or not. The issue, we are bankrupt in law. When you can't pay a debt as and when it becomes due, habis cerita. And this man, Prime Minister, Finance Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Zahid Hamidi, all of them in the cabinet, and this China Kwai, so-called, was from Transparency International, what's the name? Paul Lau, they're Christian down, okay? Where's integrity? When they come forward and say, I'm ashamed, I resign. You are Transparency International, dulu down, integrity, transparency. Where is the transparency when your boss and your cabinet, all of you, collective responsibility, has dragged Malaysia into the cesspool of shit and shame and humiliation? Resign lah, Palau. Resign lah, Leong Tong Lai. Resign lah, Mao Gerakan. Resign, have some pride, please lah, you know. If not, when the next government comes in, you pay a high price. And to Tan Sri Apandi, government lawyer, do you not advise the government? Don't pay on due date. It is a sovereign default. I challenge anyone in government to debate with me whether the failure to pay amounts to a default. Okay? It's an act of bankruptcy. In the case of Act of Bankruptcy, the Bankruptcy Act, in the case of company law, if it's a company, insolvency. What's going to happen now? When the rating of our country plummets to junk status, maybe they're thinking that, duit bukan? Can buy some of these rating agencies, right? To write a glorifying report. But I'm telling you, the bondholders will be very angry. You just watch. You just watch. So, to my people in Malaysia, This is more important issue than any other issue. Bigger than, in fact, 1MDB, the scandal. So go out, tell the people, we have a scumbag, a skunk, a criminal leading the government who has no interest for our people, our country, king as well. Nothing, zero, except the self-interest. Right? They hid their money overseas, and that criminal bastard, Joe Low, right? If he's innocent, come back to Malaysia and face the court and fight. As I was charged unlawfully as a terrorist, did I run away? I went to court and fight. Najib ran away. He sacked people. Surely, he should welcome a transparent hearing in court, better still, a Royal Commission. No. He controlled PAC Parliament, he controlled MECC, he controlled the police, he controlled everyone. And say, I am innocent. Right? If you're innocent, why consent award to IPIC? Huh? You're not innocent. Huh? So, with that, my dear Malaysians, as before, let me reassure you, Allah works in mysterious ways. We will win, we will triumph, we will prevail, because truth is on our side. Lies is on their side. And they keep on lying and lie and lie. Cover-ups and cover-ups. But they can't cover up. The hole is too big. The shit is up to their eyeballs. They are drowning in a cesspool of shit. So be brave, huh? Be brave. Surrender completely to the will of Allah. Have absolute faith that Allah would protect us, defend us, and guide us against all adversities, all enemies and challenges, so that we will arrive at the glory of the promised land and build a new Malaysia and bury once and for all UMNO, the lying party, MCA, the lying party, Gerakan, the lying party, and their psychic now, PAS. Don't forget that. Ask PAS now to all my Malay friends who are Muslims. Challenge Hadi. What do you have to say? The shame, the humiliation given to us. We, the taxpayers, the hardworking people. Why should we be humiliated? And see what Hadi has to say. Alright? With that, I thank you for your attention. I greet you well and hope you have a productive day and go all out, offensive, expose this. That Najib, UMNO and BN is responsible and cannot do otherwise but to prostrate before us, admit their guilt, and ask Allah for mercy and forgiveness. With that, I thank you. Goodbye, my fellow Malaysians.